Welcome to this explainer. Right now, artificial intelligence is this incredible, almost magical tool, isn't it? I mean, it's completely reshaping how we think about originality, truth, and creativity. But, well, here's the catch. Without a map, this brand new landscape is an absolute minefield. So, whether you're a student, a working professional, or really just someone who's curious about where the future is heading, we all need a definitive survival guide. We've got to learn how to navigate this uncharted territory without compromising our ethics or our credibility along the way. So, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to cover 5 core areas. First, defining responsible AI. Second, academic integrity and plagiarism. Third, privacy and copyright rules. Fourth, AI bias and hallucinations. And finally, number 5, fact-checking and transparency. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Starting off with Section 1, defining responsible AI. Okay, the absolute crucial point we need to establish from the get-go is this. Responsible AI means using this tech to augment human intelligence, not to replace human judgment. AI is an incredibly powerful tool to assist you. You can use it to brainstorm, to outline a project, or just check your grammar. But it is never an excuse to abandon human accountability, and it's certainly not a tool to deceive others. Think of it this way. You are the pilot. The AI, it's just your co-pilot. To make sure we stay on the right path, we really have to rely on 5 core principles. First up is fairness, which ensures we don't discriminate. Then accountability, meaning that you, the human being, are ultimately on the hook for the final output, not the machine. Transparency is all about openly disclosing when you've actually used AI. Privacy means fiercely protecting confidential data. And finally, safety. This ensures we aren't using these tools to generate harmful stuff like fake news or deepfakes. These principles are basically the pillars of responsible use, keeping us safe from spreading misinformation or crossing any ethical boundaries. Moving right along to Section 2, academic integrity and plagiarism. At its core, academic integrity is all about honesty. So, if you prompt an AI to write a 1,000-word essay on global warming and you simply copy and paste that output without changing a single thing or disclosing where it came from, yeah, that is AI-assisted plagiarism. Because AI-generated text isn't magically your original work, trying to pass it off as your own is considered outright academic misconduct by most institutions today. Let's break down the ethical boundaries when it comes to coursework. On the ethical side, imagine you use ChatGPT to untangle some really complex themes in a Shakespeare play just so you can wrap your head around them better. And then you sit down and write your very own original essay. That is fantastic. That's learning. But on the unethical side, having the AI write the entire essay and then submitting it unchanged, that literally completely bypasses the learning process. If you actually want to use AI safely and ethically, you've got to take these exact steps. It's fine to use AI to generate an outline or gather some initial ideas, but then you have to rewrite the concepts in your own words. Inject your own personal analysis into it, because that's what actually makes the work yours. Always verify the references the AI gives you, cite your original sources, and above all else, check your specific university's policies. Sticking to these steps guarantees your final output remains your own. All right, Section 3, privacy and copyright rules. Pasting sensitive information into remote servers can actually violate severe privacy laws and lead to massive data leaks. Just think about a hospital employee who decides to upload patient medical records into a public AI chatbot just to get a quick summary. That seemingly innocent little shortcut, it can lead to massive identity theft and cyber attacks. The safe practice here is simple. Never upload confidential info to a public AI and always stick to approved institutional tools for any sensitive work. And then, oh boy, we have the incredibly messy world of copyright. Picture a designer generating a commercial image that looks an awful lot like famous Disney characters. That raises massive, totally unresolved questions about copyright infringement and ownership. Because these AI models are trained on billions of images and texts created by humans, who actually owns the output? Is it the user, the AI developer, the original artists whose work was scraped? This is being heavily debated in courts right this second. So your safest bet is to always respect ownership and just avoid unauthorized copying of recognizable, copyrighted material. Now we're entering some tricky territory. Section 4, AI bias and hallucinations. To really understand hallucinations, we have to look behind the curtain for a second. AI doesn't actually know facts. It doesn't look things up in some grand database of truth. It merely predicts the next most likely word in a sequence. Because of this, it can suffer from what we call hallucinations, meaning it'll confidently invent non-existent research papers, fake historical facts, or even generate imaginary court judgments that sound completely 100% plausible. And unfortunately, AI also inherits our worst traits. Since AI learns from flawed human data, it can produce highly discriminatory outcomes. For example, there was a real-world AI recruitment tool that unfairly rejected female candidates simply because the historical hiring data it was trained on was heavily male-dominated. We also see racial bias, where facial recognition completely fails for certain ethnic groups due to imbalanced training data, and language bias, where the AI performs terribly in non-English languages. When we combine these biases with hallucinations, blindly trusting AI can literally lead to viral panic. Just look at deepfakes. Synthetic videos that make public figures appear to say wild, inflammatory things they never actually said. Or consider this terrifying real-world example. During a natural disaster, AI-generated posts falsely claimed a dam had collapsed, spreading massive disinformation before human authorities could even step in to correct the record. This right here is exactly why human oversight is absolutely critical. Let's look at how we protect ourselves. Section 5, Fact-checking and transparency. You absolutely must verify AI output step by step. Let's say an AI confidently tells you India has 35 states. You cannot just take its word for it. First, you have to check multiple reliable government sources. Second, verify the dates of that information. Third, confirm the statistics through peer-reviewed journals. Fourth, check the references the AI provided to make sure they aren't totally made up. And fifth, actually go and read the original research papers yourself. And once you've done the work responsibly, you need to be totally transparent about it. A perfect template for disclosing your AI assistance sounds something like this. AI was used to generate initial ideas and improve grammar. The analysis, interpretation, and final writing were completed by the author. By just openly stating this, you maintain your trust, your credibility, and your academic honesty. Institutions are finally setting crystal clear boundary lines on what counts as a helpful tool versus outright cheating. Permitted uses usually include things like brainstorming, grammar correction, and planning your research. But the absolute not permitted list, that includes using AI during closed-book exams, fabricating data, and basically using it to bypass the actual learning outcomes of your program. The golden rule is to always use AI as a learning aid, not as a replacement for your own independent work. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative question about the future of human creativity. As AI gets more and more advanced, blending human prompting with machine generation, who actually owns the final product? Does it belong to the user who typed the prompt, the developer who built the AI, or does it belong to no one at all? I really urge you to consider your own role in the AI ecosystem. Use these tools to augment your incredible human mind, stay critically aware, and always navigate with responsibility. Thanks for joining me.